Week preparing for the triple option, everything. How's it going?
Yeah, I think the guys have been very focused this week. A little bit shorter, but we know we're playing on Friday. So finish up practice today, get on the plane, get over there, try to have kind of a normal Friday night. And then we'll utilize a little bit more planning on game day of just some prep, final meetings that we would normally do on a normal Friday. So, but they've been very good. And I think as far as all groups, phases, special teams, OD, they've all been preparing well. It seems like the energy's been good, so I think they're excited to go out there and play.
I know losing the day always hurts, but when it's an offense like this that you have to go against, does that make it even tougher?
I think it's tough regardless of the scheduling, whoever you're playing and all that. And certainly, the preparation and knowing our schedule going into the season, why we spent time on the defensive side working on some of this, why we did some offensive things against opponents down the road as well. So you kind of prepare for this stuff earlier in the year.
I know you said Tuesday. I guess you'll find out tomorrow night how much your prep work, paid off. I guess. How confident are you that it's going to be a different result than what we've seen the last couple of years?
Well, I think the biggest key. It's not. We talked about defense. It's not about that. It's about the entire football team. You go out there and win a game, and it's not always one phase. And it comes down to our offense, taking care of football, putting up points, special teams doing their job, defense going out there and executing their assignments. So as far as that goes, if we're able to do that, last year's last year. This is a whole new team. So how do we go out there and execute? How do we operate? How do we handle adversity? They're going to make plays. They're a good football team. It really comes down to that and things we've been doing and what have we learned in the first 4 games.
A little off topic, but I'm sure you probably heard about the proposed rule change with the early signing periods and whatnot. Just want to get your thoughts on that and how that kind of affects you guys.
Yeah, that's a long conversation. It really is. And I don't have an opinion right now. I think there's the vote being out there, and there's a lot of coaches that are kind of putting their opinions and voicing their opinions right now. I'd like to look at all that. It's hard. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Either way, it's certainly going to cause some issues, whether it's early or not. When things change at the end, and these young guys they're 16, 17 years old. They change their mind, and so to do it that early, and then you have the whole season. I don't know. It's kind of a difficult topic where I think we ought to put our heads together and really weigh all the options.
What benefit a school like you think though? Because you've lost some guys coming in at the end and poaching you at some guys at the last minute. I mean, you would think a school like you would benefit, wouldn't you?
I don't think it's going to change.
Okay.
What are you going to tell a 17-year-old that decides he wants to go somewhere else, whether he's signed or not? No. You don't think there's going to be a rule that somebody's going to say, well, we're going to get out of it. There's going to be, I don't know if there's lawyers, whatever. At some point, it's going to be like, well, now I don't want to go there. That's what I just don't know. I mean, those are the things you got to figure out, okay, where in this does it really benefit to where you're not battling at the end of it, and then you just have bad blood when somebody decides to change their mind. And don't forget, they're 17 years old. They change their minds, and that's what happens.
First Friday night game, obviously no stranger to Friday night and playing on Friday nights. Thoughts? Do you enjoy playing on Fridays?
No. We'll play on Fridays. Our preference, play on Saturday. And Friday nights are good for recruiting. They're for high school teams. I think that's really important for what we do. And the more we do it, the more we take away from the high school teams, the more we take away from recruiting. And so it is what it is, and I understand why with scheduling. It's better than playing on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, but at the same time, Fridays are kind of sacred for high school football, and I think you can do it every so often, but I think if we can keep scheduling those Saturday games, I'm talking we as in college football, that's a better thing for everybody.
Offensively, what would you guys like to grow most in these last 5 days in between tomorrow night's game and your last game?
Yeah, well, I think consistency. I think offense is all about consistency. You have to have 11 guys executing on the offensive side. Sometimes defense, the offense doesn't execute, and you don't get hit on a play. Offensively, if you don't execute, it doesn't really matter what the defense does. It doesn't really work out at times. So to me, it's all about consistency. And we've done some really good things, and then we've watched enough tape from fall camp into this season of here's what we can keep improving. And the great thing about it is you're undefeated and you're able to still look at it and go, we have tons of work to do each and every week. And I think the same thing going into this game.
Who's been your Lamar Jordan on the scout team?
Yeah. Well, there's been several. We've used a couple wide receivers back there. With Darryl Blair has played a little bit on the scout team. Cam Humphreys, some of those guys on there, some of the scout quarterbacks. So just different looks, different speed.
How hard is it to replicate?
We don't have a
speed?
Lamar.
Yeah,
he's
with
he's
Gibson
different.
too. I mean, I know he's battling with the hamstring injury, but
Yeah.
how hard is it to simulate that speed and kind of what they do?
I don't know if it's so much the actual speed of the player; it's the speed of the system. This is what they do. They run this system every single day. It's a little bit like every offense is different, and so you say you're going to replicate Baylor's offense. Well, how do you do that? They got speed and wide splits, and so every week's different, and you do the very best you can. You try to put the right people in the right spot. You try to get them to just execute fast. And then also at the same time, just remind your team that they're going to do this better. So our minds too, as we play, we have to play faster. And there's certainly times in practice where it's lightning speed and playing as fast as we can, just to get that speed factor.
Saw yesterday that Schouman is joining you guys as staff. Can you elaborate a little bit on his role and what he's going to be doing for you guys?
Well, he's part of it right now. Undefined. He's going to help him with the tight ends, obviously, and just being in that room, but just really building himself into a position. And the one thing about Derek, he's been a guy for a long time. As a player, coaching him, and when he was done playing, staying in contact. Very bright, very smart, all about Boise State, and I think just a great demeanor for this game in general. So, one of our favorite guys, and I'm glad to have him back here. And this is something that he wants to do. And sometimes when you get away from football, you realize how much you love it, and you come back to it. We're certainly proud to have him.
That'll be a full-time position of some sort?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, not yet. We're still kind of working through some of that, but like a lot of these young coaches, they just need to get their foot in the door. That's one of the things. There's a lot of really young guys out there, and coaches in general, that need opportunities. And Derek's certainly a guy. His time here and what he did and how he operated, there's no question. That he's a great fit for the players and our staff.
It was good.